Now on BBC One, an hour of topical discussion between Sir Robin Day, his guests and the audience in Question Time.
Hello and thank you and welcome to Question Time for 60 minutes of topical argument on questions raised by our audience here. Around the table with me are the Right Honourable Norman St John-Stevas MP, formerly Leader of the House of Commons and Minister for the Arts. He was recently described in a review of his new book as the wettest and wittiest of the wets. This was a book called The Two Cities, in which he talks about his political and religious attitudes, and in it he rather touchingly protests that because he likes, as he puts it, to make little jokes and is burdened with a capacity for wit, people sometimes have the impression that he is not serious. Well, nothing, as I know myself, and as he declares, could be further from the truth. Indeed, he has achieved a notable place in parliamentary history as the architect of the select committee system in which government departments are scrutinised. Mr. James Anderton is Chief Constable of Greater Manchester and who has there commanded for 8 years or so the largest police force in Britain outside London. His outspoken style of leadership has made him the centre of some controversy, but also the object of much admiration, notably for his containment of National Front marches in 1978 and his response to the Moss Side riots in 1981. Somewhat to my disappointment, the Chief Constable has come without the musical instrument which he enjoys playing so much, the accordion. Indeed, he is the first guest on this programme to have been Chairman of the Governing Council of the British College of Accordionists. Mrs. Anne Sofer has been a Social Democratic Party member of the Greater London Council since 1981. Before that, she was a Labour member of the GLC for 4 years, but she defected to the SDP because of her objection to Labour policies under Ken Livingstone, and she won a by-election for the SDP. Now, Mrs. Sofer is an ally of Ken Livingstone against the Tory government legislation to scrap the GLC, legislation which Mrs. Sofer condemns as mere demolition and not constructive reform. Bryan Gould MP is a front-bench Labour spokesman on trade and industry. He was re-elected to the Commons at last year's general election, having previously sat in the 74-79 Parliament. He's a New Zealander by birth and education, with a brilliant academic record which took him on a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford and into the British Diplomatic Service, for which he later moved to be a law tutor and a Fellow of Worcester College, Oxford. And such is the infinite variety of his talents that he has also done a stint as a television presenter. That requires rare gifts indeed. In the Labour Party, he's on the soft left. He's a member of the CND and the Tribune Group. Soft left, I say, he would probably prefer to call it the reasonable left. There we are, and here we go with our first question, which is from Jerry Temple, who is a computer consultant. Mr. Temple, your question, sir.
Sir Robin, in view of the recent machine gunning of police and civilians in London by so-called diplomats, does the panel think that the concept of diplomatic